WDBFradio.com. 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 I grab my fishing pole and cast it in the water. I fish until dawn. Oh my, I caught a shark. I'm fishing in Florida when the sun shines all day. They call me a grouper. So I'm fishing in Florida. Oh yeah.
It's the Fish Florida Show with your host, Riscala Stevens, bringing the outdoors to you every Sunday morning, 8 to 10 a.m. on the WDBF Radio Network. And now, your host, Riscala Stevens.
Well, a very bright and good morning to you out there listening on the other side of this microphone. We are looking at a gorgeous day here in South Florida. It is the Fish Florida Show. It's an honor and privilege to be with you. This morning, of course, we have me, the one and only me, Riscala, as your host. And I have my co-host, one and only Pam Worth, who is one of the top kayak anglers here in Florida. Good morning, Miss Pam.
Good morning, sir. How are you feeling today?
Oh, it's wonderful. Well, I'll tell you, I'm kind of getting over being up until about 1:30 in the morning because I do that other show, up until midnight, and it takes me a little while to get everything going. But the gears are turning and the lights are coming on and the coffee is going down and I'm slowly waking up.
There you go. It's kicking in.
And of course we have the one and only Captain Hook. He's back there in the background taking care of everything for me. Good morning, Captain Hook, and thank you, sir, for what you do.
Good morning. Good morning.
So what's it look like over there on the West Coast?
It's beautiful. I came across the Howard Franklin this morning and the bay looked beautiful. I brought my boat, so my kayak hits the water as soon as the show's over.
You can always spot Pam. I'm trying to figure out the easiest way to say it. You can always spot Pam because she's the one who will be pulling the kayak. Wherever she goes, she's got a kayak behind her.
That's right.
And it's pretty easy to make out who she is because you don't see a lot of people pulling kayaks, especially with all the contraptions that she has on it. All kinds of stuff on that kayak, which is just amazing. Well, it really is when you think about it. You can get into a boat that is about 15 feet long, I think, and no motors, no outside energy other than the energy you have in your body, and literally work yourself out sometimes miles off of shore and be out there in the deep, as I call it, fishing in a boat where sometimes you catch a fish almost as big as the boat.
That's right. My little native is 13.5. And
13.
Yeah, she hauls butt. And most people probably won't see me on the road because I'm on the road at 4 a.m. So if you see a black Sportage Kia pulling a blue native that probably passed you, that would be me.
Where in the world could somebody be going in a kayak at 4 o'clock in the morning?
My launch site. I fished a tournament yesterday and it didn't even start till 9 o'clock. I was like, what do you do between 6 a.m. and 9 a.m?
Oh my goodness. All that time on your hands.
Exactly.
So the tournament, let's take a minute and talk about the tournament while we're waiting for Robert to come on here. What was the tournament? What kind of tournament was this? It
was a fun tournament, and it was a benefit for a school over here in Tampa, Berkeley Prep. And it was very unusual. Usually you target redfish, snook, trout, whatever. This had about 13 different species. And by lottery, they pulled numbers for points. So usually you don't want to catch a catfish. In this tournament, a catfish was a number one target because it had 8 or 9 points to it.
Wow.
A trout had 11 points and a redfish only 1. So we totally ignored redfish in this tournament. And it was like a scavenger hunt. You had to go from spot to spot to spot trying to get like a mackerel and a ladyfish and a jack. It was so much fun.
Wow. And how was the quality of the water?
It was beautiful. Every place we went, there was bait everywhere. I mean, there's a couple places in the bay and the beaches you kind of want to stay away from, but we were blessed with some winds coming out of the east that helped blow some stuff out. So hopefully things are getting better over here.
Wow. Well, that's good because, we've reported for the last couple of months that things have been kind of bleak, and, it's not the kind of thing I like to talk about, but it is reality. It is what is happening, and I believe it's important for people to know. So that's good news that we're seeing. I'm getting some reports as well that it's not as concentrated. Maybe that's not the right word. It's not as concentrated. It's not in one area really powerful like it was a while back. It's breaking up into pockets, as they refer to it. Mm-hmm. And that's good news. That's because the sooner we can return our waters to the quality that they need to be at, the sooner we can start enjoying everything. We have people can't even go to the beach, can't even go and enjoy the water because it's so toxic. So
right. Well,
that's great. That made my day right there.
There you go. I was supposed to fish fundraisers for Heroes on the Water, and I have a military family, so that is near and dear to my heart. But it was in Matlacha, which is Cape Coral area. Well, instead, what they're doing is they're doing a fundraiser for both Heroes on the Water, not a tournament, but a fundraiser, and they're going to split the proceeds 50-50 with Captains for Clean Water. Mm-hmm. So Keith Matola, if you go look for his name on Instagram, is the one that's putting that on. And it's going to be at a shooting range. They're going to put a gun in Pam's hands. This is going to be so exactly.
Run!
Exactly. I Love Lucy is going to get a gun. That's going to be so much fun.
Oh wow!
I used to hunt as a kid. It should be a good time.
Well, it's good that people are coming together and recognizing that we do have a problem. It is a problem. I mean, there's no other way to put it. And it's important that we unite. I think, once we begin to work together, regardless of what the issue is, I think we can resolve it. But the key to it is, first, is to become knowledgeable about it, and second is to work together to find a reasonable resolution. Some of the resolutions that the politicians are asking for are not acceptable. They're absolutely not. They're talking about opening a 3,000 foot deep well. I think it was 3,000 feet deep, and just pouring this stuff in there, pouring all kinds of God knows what into this well. And right below that well is our aquifer. That's the water that we use to drink and cook and shower, and not a good idea. Yeah. So anyway, that's a story for another time. I want to ask you about, when's the next time that you're going to be over here on the East Coast? Because I remember you said something about a fishing tournament. I think was it Pompano in Pompano Beach?
Yeah, Pompano is where I have my offshore tournaments, a lot of them, and they're pretty much done for the season. But I'm going to come over and see you soon. October, the end of September and October are really busy months for me. Tournament wise, I've got the IFA over in Jacksonville next weekend. Phase 2, and I'm in top 10, so I really need to fish that. And then, like I said, the first weekend in October, I'll be in Cape Coral. I'm also going to fish Friday. I need to introduce you to her, Debbie Hansen. She's probably one of the top female freshwater bass people. She does.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, she does fly fishing and shore fishing, but primarily freshwater. So I'm going to be fishing with her on Friday.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yep. Get me contact info because, we've talked several times on the show about the vital part that females play. I'm not talking about the ones that get dressed up in a bikini and they look really, really nice and they just take a picture with fish. I'm talking about the ones who are not afraid to get out there, bait the hooks, catch the fish, unhook the fish, cook the fish, clean the fish. They're willing to do it all. And in some cases, they do it better than men do it. And they're a vital part of a male-dominated industry. Yeah. And today, believe it or not, today I'm going to have 3 different ladies on with me about fishing and their part that they play in fishing, which is, to me, is important. If you've listened to any of my shows, you know that I have said repeatedly, growing up, fishing was one of the most popular things we did as a family. We did several other things, but fishing was the most popular and the most enjoyable for whatever reason that might be. My mom loved fishing. My mom wasn't afraid to get her fingers stinky. My mom wasn't afraid to clean and cook the fish. My dad, of course, he loved fishing. I love fishing. My brother loved fishing. We would spend an entire weekend sometimes traveling from Miami, where I lived at the time, all the way over to Naples, spending the weekend in Naples and fishing off the pier all weekend long. I believe this was something that helped our family grow together, keep the bonds of the family, because the family is under all-out attack. And you just take a look around and you'll see families are breaking up right and left. We've got to do everything we can to keep families together. this is where America is. It's about. It's about families. It's about different units being able to share time together. The one thing that you might have all the money in the world, but the one thing that you have that you never get back is your time. So when someone spends time with you, and when you spend time with someone else, that's one of the greatest investments that you can make, because there's no refunds. You're not going to get that time back. So, and fishing, to me, is one of the best ways to do it. And I think I've got Mr. Robert on. Robert, are you on the phone?
I am indeed. How are you, sir?
Good morning, Robert. Welcome to the Fish Florida Show. It is Robert Warner, ladies and gentlemen. He is with the Florida Fisherman Magazine, and always brings a unique perspective to us.
I heard you've got 3 women on the show. Who do you have on? I didn't catch it because I had just flipped on the phone. So
tell him, Pam.
You have Laura Bullard.
Yep.
We have Betty Berman, and she's with Ladies Let's Go Fishing. I worked with her last month on teaching ladies to fish. And we have Summer Warren.
I know Summer very well. Summer's a great lady. She does a lot of tournaments and
right.
A lot of redfish too, chasing tails.
So
yep.
It wasn't on purpose that I did it this way. It just happened to work out this way. These are some of the people that I happen to contact over the last week. I typically do it over the week. I contact different people, see if they're willing to come on, share with us some fishing stories, some fishing reports, what they do when they're out there. And it just happened to turn out today that 3 of the guests are going to be ladies. And, you know, Robert, you were one of the first people that brought up the subject about the vital importance of ladies being involved in a male-dominated industry. And
women and children are the future of this business. Absolutely. I am 100% convinced of that.
Well,
as a matter of fact, it's funny you mentioned the ones that aren't afraid. I've got a picture. The new issue of the magazine just came out yesterday, by the way. And in there is a picture of Amy Gagliano, 8 months pregnant, throwing a cast net. So, and not only it was a professionally taken picture. I guess her friend is a photographer and took the picture. It's an absolutely stunning picture, number one.
Wow. But
she's 8 months pregnant, throwing a cast net. So,
hey, I can't even throw a cast net, and never mind.
But yeah, I agree with you completely. They are the future of this business. The unfortunate thing in this world today is there's a lot of single moms out there, and you know it's unfortunately relying upon them to get their kids out doing these things. So. You know, sometimes you got dads that don't participate, and you know, it's a not real pretty world out there sometimes. And
yeah, well,
that's a huge part of this. The future of this business is getting single moms and their kids out there fishing. We also have a page which is on the website called Tackle Boxes Not Xboxes, which is all about that, getting your kids out fishing. So.
You know, I don't know how people feel about this, but I've done some research regarding technology that we use every day, whether that is an iPad, a smartphone, a computer, television, whatever that might be. And I have found that particularly younger children should not be exposed to too much technology, that it literally affects the brain waves, that the frequencies that come out of this stuff is not good for people who's they're in a position where they're developing mentally, they're developing physically, they're developing emotionally. It doesn't really lend a positive aspect if they spend a lot of time around technology.
No, I think it stunts their social growth too.
I'm telling you, I've read at least 3 or 4 different reports that all say the same thing, especially younger children, like 2 and 3 and 4 years old. They shouldn't even be touching a smartphone or an iPad. Again, this is just my opinion. I'm not telling you I'm a doctor and you've got to do what I'm saying. I'm just saying this is what I've run into. And the evidence of that, I see the evidence of that because I have grandchildren, and my children use these products as babysitters. And, you know, we get into some heated arguments over this stuff, but it is what it is. I see it happening. So what I'm telling you, I'm not only telling you from reading about it, I'm telling you from experiencing it, that the amount of time that we are spending around technical electronic devices is so much greater today than it was ever before. And that time that you're spending around these devices can actually be harmful to you, because of the frequencies that are coming out of the devices. So instead of looking down at a smartphone and playing a game or something, grab a rod, grab some bait, grab a bucket, go find yourself a place to fish. For me, it is some of the most peaceful times. How do you feel about it, Pam? When you're out there fishing and you're not in a tournament, you're just fishing. Is it peaceful for you?
Yeah, I started, you know that I used to be a mortgage banker, and I started fishing, especially artificials, just for the relaxation, to get away from everybody and just hear the water lapping against the boat, looking at the birds.
Absolutely.
Enjoying the scenery.
No such thing as a bad day on the water.
Exactly. Thank you. Even in a storm where you're smashing into the mangroves. Then you have stories. You have
Speaking of mangroves, if they want to take their kids out fishing right now, mangrove snapper, if you haven't noticed, the moon's full, but the mangrove snapper are everywhere right now. They're in shallow, so you can take your kids fishing just about anywhere and catch some nice mangrove snapper right now. So
nice.
Any
good
rock
time
pile.
to be doing that.
Yep, any rock pile.
Is there a size on them, Robert?
I believe there is. I believe it's not very big though. It's about 10 inches, I believe. I don't know. Pam, correct me on that if I'm wrong.
I think you're right. I think it's 10 inches, but you really don't want to keep them unless they're like closer to 12.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you get some meat on them.
Well, you've got to
they're delicious.
Look at it and figure out what size the fillet is going to be. That's and keep those.
Is it worth the effort to fillet it?
You know, I'll share this with you. When I was a kid, we didn't have size limits and all that stuff. And some of the best eating fish that I caught were baby snappers. I know that sounds mean, but I didn't know any better at the time. I was a kid. But we would catch these little, I call them baby snappers. They're only maybe 8 or 9 inches long. And my mom would cook them. She would cook them just for me because she didn't want them. My dad didn't want them. I wanted them. It was some of the best, I guess because they were so little, it was some of the best eating. A lot of bones and stuff, but I was willing to go through that for the meat. It was great stuff. Didn't know any better at the time. I would never do that today.
Yeah. Well, the fishing's been great out there. We got a great freshwater fishing report this month from Rick Summerlin from Summerlin Outdoors. With all the hydrilla, he said this time of year, bass fishing's been great. There are mahi, tuna, grouper, snapper, redfish, everything being caught around the state. So
wow.
Great time to get out there. Tarpon, if you just want to go tarpon fishing, they're out there. But a lot of fishing going on and a lot of great fishing being had. I was watching, yesterday, somebody sent me a video of, just tuna just exploding out in the water, and the frigate birds and all of that down in the Keys.
The mullet
great fishing going on out there.
Yeah, the mullet run's about to start too, isn't it?
The mullet run is, actually I've been tracking it. It's down about to Melbourne now.
Nice.
It's working its way down the coast. Sky Burkhardt has an article in our magazine this month, on the fall mullet run. She's up just north of the Space Coast, and she was in it, so.
You like that segue,
it's getting closer. What's that?
I said you like that segue, didn't you?
The mullet run?
Yeah, in your article.
Yeah, it just happened to work out perfect, but yeah, she's in there. Sky does an article for us every month. She's a great angler. She's also a representative for a kayak company, and I don't know which one, but I don't try to mention names anyway, but great inshore fisherman. She's got a page called Inshore Adventures with Sky. This is one of those moms who fishes every day. When her kids are in school, she fishes, and when they're out of school, she fishes with them. So
excellent.
She's also a very good writer.
She's a great writer. Yes, she is.
So while we're on the subject, Robert, I want to take advantage of that. If you have something that you can submit to Robert will take a look at it, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, and for the Florida Fisherman Magazine, if you have a fishing story or if you have some pictures that you want to share, reach out to Robert, and he just may put it in the magazine.
Yep. They can send them to pages@flfishmag.com, and we will read them all.
Yeah, it's I've got Laura, this young lady that will be on here in a little while. She was kind enough to post on the my Facebook page her last catch. She went out and caught pretty much a nice chestful, not full, but a nice catch, easily a couple of dinners. And she put it on the page. So when you hear from her today, you can go on the Facebook page. You can actually see what she caught. And I thought it would be, kind of important to bring that up because some people may not realize that if you've got something that you'd like to share with other people, that there is a platform that you can do that with. I'm not guaranteeing he's going to do it, but I'm guaranteeing he'll look at it for you. And, if it looks like it's within the parameters of what he's looking for, it'll be in his magazine. You'll be online. You'll get credit. And it's a way for all of us to share information. I love being able to have this show because I always learn. Regardless of what it is I already know, I always learn. I don't pretend to be a professional, but I do know that I have a mind that's kind of, they used to say like a parachute. It's open. If it's not open, it's not working.
That is correct. Yeah, we try to look at everything. We get stuff from all over the place. We try to read through them all. We publish as many of them as we can. Videos too. The magazine is digital, so we can put in videos. So whatever you've got, send them in. We'll take a look.
That's great. Robert, I got to take a break. I'm up against that time again. Robert Warner, Florida Fisherman Magazine. Day. Thank you, my friend. God bless. We'll be right back. Don't go away.
You're listening to the Fish Florida Show with your host, Riskella. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Do you own a laser printer, copier, or a fax? Well then, listen close to this announcement. Laser Technologies has been providing high-quality, frustration-free toner cartridges that are guaranteed not to harm your equipment for over 20 years. Laser Technologies will save you on your supplies with high-quality and fast delivery. Savings up to 50%. Laser Technologies supplies toner, imaging drums, developer and cartridges for most of the major brands. For a price quote, send an email to service@laser-technologies.com. Include your printer make and model for your part number. Call us at 561-792-9600. That's 561-792-9600. Laser Technologies, providing 100% of the quality at a fraction of the price. 561-792-9600.
Que Pasa Mexican Cantina is where friends and neighbors come to connect, share, and celebrate one another in a festive, casual atmosphere. Offering rich, robust flavors of authentic Mexican cuisine, we use only the freshest, finest ingredients. We chop and dice, season and blend, and then cook everything we serve to perfection. One thing that makes Mexican food even better is one of our delicious Best of the Bay margaritas. Our signature series of margarita flavors range from our sweet and fruity mango and strawberry to our hot and juicy jalapeno margarita. Having a busy meeting or getting together and looking for Mexican food? Try our Fast Fax form. It's an easy, fast way to order your favorite Mexican food. We have special platters and layouts for any occasion. The form is super easy to fill out, fax, email, or just call it in. Whether it's here in the restaurant, in your home or office, at Que Pasa we celebrate bringing people together. Que Pasa Mexican Cantina, 10478 Roosevelt Boulevard North Street in the Gateway Shopping Center, 727-330-3663 in St. Petersburg.
Hi folks, I'm Roger from Rogers Gotcha Motoring. If you need a local auto repair shop, Rogers Gotcha Motoring will take care of all of your automotive repair needs. If you need something as simple as an oil change or as complex as an engine overhaul, I have the latest in technology and the knowledge to get the job done right. We've been servicing Pinellas County since 1994 and are conveniently located at 3700 5th Avenue North in St. Petersburg, Florida. If you need service, call now at 727-327-1830 or visit my website at www.rogersgotchamotoring.com or like my Facebook page at Rogers Gotcha Motoring for a complete list of all of our services. So come on over to Rogers, that's me, and get your car service today. And don't forget to shop and support local business. Call now to book your appointment at 727-327-1830. That's 727-327-1830, or swing on by.
We can make each other happy. I grab my fishing pole and cast it in the water. I fish until dawn. Oh my, I caught a shark. I'm fishing and blowing on. When the sun shines all day. It calls me a grouper. So fishing and blowing on. Oh yeah.
It's the Fish Florida Show with your host, Riskella Stevens, bringing the outdoors to you every Sunday morning, 8 to 10 a.m. on the WDBF Radio Network. And now your host, Riskella Stevens.
Well, a very good morning to you. We are back. If you missed any part of the show, you can always catch us again at 3 p.m. in the afternoon. We do replay the show at 3 p.m. And if you're one of those that just can't get some sleep or you've got to wake up early, maybe you're like Pam, you've got something you've got to go do, and it's primarily fishing, and you're up at 4 o'clock in the morning. You can listen to the show then as well. Now, if you happen to miss both of those, you can't make it at 3 in the afternoon today, you can't make it at 4 a.m. in the morning tomorrow, you can always find our archives. We are archived in two places. You can find us on YouTube, The Fish Florida Show on YouTube. You can also go to thefishfloridashow.com, our website, and you can find all of our archives there as well. So, like I mentioned earlier today, it wasn't really planned this way, but we have spoken about the vital part that the ladies play in a male-dominated industry. And I've always felt that it was natural for me because as a family, my mom went with us all the time. So I never really considered it in the sense that it was really intended for men or somehow it came up as a men or male-dominated industry. And then I met people like Pam. Pam Worth, who is one of the top female kayak anglers here in Florida. I met her and we did a couple of interviews, and then Pam ends up being the co-host for me, who always brings a unique perspective, and I so appreciate that, Pam, and always has something very interesting for us. And in the process of that, I met a young lady who lives nearby me, and her name is Laura. And she's an angler as well, and I have asked her to call in this morning and share with us. You know, we've talked about lady anglers, the real lady anglers, not the ones who are really nice looking with a nice body, who hold a fish for 2 seconds and then go, ooh, get away from me. We're talking about the real lady anglers, the ones who go out there, the ones who are not afraid to bait the hook, the ones who are not afraid to take the fish off, the ones who are not afraid to clean and cook, the real lady anglers. And they are a vital part of our industry. And so today I'm going to end up having 3 of them on. Well, actually 4 of them. If you, with Pam included, it's going to be 4 of them. So it's going to be a female-dominated show today. How do you like that, Pam?
That sounds good, but I've always been considered one of the guys.
Well, you don't look like one of the guys, and I don't consider you one of the guys, and I do honestly do appreciate you being here and sharing with me. So let me bring on my next guest. This is one of my neighbors who had the honor and the privilege of meeting a while back, and we kind of enjoyed each other's company, and I've talked to her a couple of times since. She's called in one time. I think this will be a second call in, and she's going to share with us a little fishing report. Good morning, Miss Laura.
Good morning. How are you?
Oh, we are doing good, my dear. How are you doing?
I'm great. Unfortunately, going to work this morning instead of fishing. So I had the opportunity to go fishing on Monday. Took my sister from Arizona, her first time ever saltwater fishing. So we just had a blast. Those are the pictures I shared on your Facebook page.
Yeah,
she loved it. She said, I understand why you love to fish. She said that was so fun.
Did she bait the hook?
Yes, she did.
Hot dog.
She could definitely get into it if there was an ocean around Arizona. She does lake fishing. They have a lot of canyons. So she does, lake fishing, not saltwater fishing.
I bet it's not even close to being the same, huh?
No. Mm-mm. Not at all.
Where did you go?
We went out of Jupiter Inlet. We were about 13 miles out. We chose some ballyhoos and caught some dolphin in about 1,300 feet of water. And then we trolled in probably about 200 to 300 foot of water coming back in. We used some lures with a skirt on it, some jaw lures. Caught some blackfin, tuna, and some bonita.
Nice.
So we did pretty good.
I'd say you got dinner there for a little bit.
Yeah, we did. It was better than I think the week before that, I tried to do my first time ever to go out sword fishing. That was a bust.
Oh.
Much slower paced. And that was in the daytime. I hear you have to do that at night, so I guess I'll try it again.
Well, tonight would be great. Yeah, tonight would be great for the sword fishing with the big full moon. It'll pull all the, what are we trying to, not octopus, but squid up.
Yeah, that's what I hear.
Now, I've heard
definitely different types of fishing.
I've heard a couple of times that you can fish for swordfish during the day.
Well, yes, I've heard that too. That's why I was out there.
But it didn't turn out too good.
It did not turn out. I did not realize that you have to watch the tip of the rod and like totally different. Like I said, I've never been before, so I'm going to blame it on the day. But yes, I've heard you can catch it during the day.
Pam, have you ever been sword fishing?
No, I haven't. I have not. I just know it's deep.
Yeah.
And once you hook up, it's a lot of fun, but no.
Yeah, we put some lights on in the line and get out in deep water. I guess the conditions are really important when you do it going out for that. The moon and the depth of the water, like any fishing, but I think it's probably more precise with sword fishing. Otherwise, you're going to spend all day and come home with nothing. That was the first time I've ever done that. Ever. Fishing, actual fish fishing, not catching.
You know what we call that, Pam? Oh, excuse me, not Pam. You know what we call that, Laura?
What?
That's called being either a hero or a zero.
Yes. And you know what? It was still fun, though. I had good company.
It is.
Enjoyed being out there. Just didn't come home with dinner.
We talked about that just a few minutes ago, how enjoyable it is, even if you don't catch anything, just being out there. There's some kind of a peacefulness about it.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm actually going to go, I think, next week. I have a friend down in Isla Mirada. He does eco night tours. So he's got a small boat with lights all the way around it. And you can go out and you can see like 360 degrees around the boat and see crocodiles, tarpon.
Oh, man.
Sharks. I mean, just a really great experience I hear. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm going to take my son. He's 12.
Great.
Get some
That's
video.
Excellent.
Yeah.
You know, one of the first things I noticed about being in a boat out at night, I had a, I don't remember, some huge spotlight, 1,000,000 candle power or something. When you shine the light out in the water, it's like the water absorbs the light. Did you notice that? It's like the water literally sucks up the light. It's not like if you're on land and you shine a light at a wall or something, it lights up the whole area. You shine the light down in the water, it's just like it's right down in the water.
Well, that's exactly it. And that's like this little boat. You can see just everything that's around you. It's pretty amazing. And then, if we see anything, we'll do a little fishing too.
It's a heck of an idea.
Yeah. The boat captain down there in the Keys is just really innovative, smart kid. Came up with the idea and doing pretty well.
Yeah, a lot cooler than in the middle of the day.
Yeah. That too. Oh, yeah.
I bet that would be great on a full moon. The reason I brought up the subject about shining the light and water absorbing it is that people who've never been out on the water at night and had done something like that, you don't realize that you hear somebody saying about there's lights all the way around the boat, and you think to yourself, well, why would you want to do that? Isn't one or two lights enough? No, believe it or not, the more lights, the better when it comes to water, because it just literally sucks the light up. And on nights with a full moon, during the cooler months when we used to go shrimping, I never had that anywhere near that many lights. I had maybe 2 lights on my boat, and even with just 2 lights on a full moon, you'd be amazed what you see in the water that swims underneath your boat. It's pretty awesome. Pretty awesome.
Yeah, thank you for pointing that out. I guess if you've never been out there, you don't realize that.
So what's your favorite type of fishing, Laura? If you had a chance to do anything, what would you pick?
That's hard. That's a really hard. I mean, I was really, really into sail fishing until I caught a really old, smart sailfish. And then I was like, okay, I've had enough of that. But anything that's fast-paced, where we get on fish and we're just loading them in the boat, I love that. Like you said, I'm not so sure about the sword fishing again. I'm going to give it another try, but I guess anything where it's constant action. That's the difference between, I do a lot of hunting too. So we're coming up on deer season, and I used to be really, really passionate about that, and I realized, wait a minute, I think I like fishing better. Now I like both. Both very peaceful, both fun, but I think I like the action.
Yeah, we've talked about hunting a couple of times on the show.
Mm-hmm.
It is part of enjoying the outdoors, going out there and enjoying it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's another, like I said, I kind of got into it because I wanted to show my son, expose them, most importantly. And like you said, get them away from the Xbox. If these kids are not exposed, how will they ever know? I mean, I insisted last November on taking him up to Georgia. It's southwest Georgia, just north of Tallahassee. And usually I don't take him, or I take him with me and he doesn't go out hunting. And I said, no, you're going to go this time. And he pitched a fit and didn't want to get up early, that whole thing. And I let him slide 2 days. On day 3, I said, nope, absolutely not. We came up here for that. I got him out there. He loved it. And didn't even end up shooting anything, just loved being up there. So, sometimes it just pushes these kids to step outside something that they know, and maybe they'll like it. Mm-hmm. So my job to kind of expose my child to everything that I can.
I see across the board, just a general statement, I see a degradation of, or a reduction maybe would be a better word, of people who have what I call the ability to be self-reliant. God forbid we have some god-awful disaster of some sort. There are people who just can't take care of themselves. They don't know basic skills of life. They think that their life revolves, or their food in their life revolves around going to a store. They don't realize that it wasn't always that way, and there's nothing wrong with that. But you should always have the knowledge. Back to that word knowledge that I mentioned first part of the show. Knowledge. You should have knowledge about being self-reliant, being able to take care of yourself. God forbid, here in Florida, we are not strangers to hurricanes. And if you've ever been involved in I was involved in one of the worst hurricanes that's ever hit this state. On August the 24th, 1992, I lost my whole neighborhood. And I thank God that I had the wherewithal to know what to do at the time, because was me, my wife, and 7 kids. And when I tell you the entire neighborhood was gone, there wasn't a house standing anywhere nearby us. It was Hurricane Andrew, August 24th, 1992. It is what caused me to move from South Florida up here to West Palm Beach. And since then, we have experienced repeated hurricanes. The knowledge to be able to be self-reliant is one of the most vital things that you can have in your life. And it can be as simple as going fishing. It can be as simple as going hunting, learning about what is out there in the woods, learning about what is out there in the water, learning that it's an avenue that, God forbid, you have no other ways of feeding or taking care of yourself. There is an option for you. You don't have to sit back and go, woe is me. So anyway, again, it's about relationships. I think everybody would agree on that.
Yeah, and Laura, I love the fact that you're exposing your kids to a lot of different things. You're, in long run, even if they don't like what you're exposing them to, you're giving them confidence, you're giving them the ability to go out and make choices, and at least they experienced it, so if anything comes up, they're like, oh yeah, okay, I can do this. Good job.
Yep.
Absolutely. He's in Boy Scouts also, and I made him go on a scout trip, and he said, I said, oh, it'll be fun. Well, what are we doing? And I said, it says geocaching. So you drove 5 hours up the state, and they went geocaching. And in his defense, they leave on a Friday after school, like 5 o'clock, and they come back. They leave Sunday morning, wherever they're at, like 7 a.m. So you really only have one day. So you take a 5-hour trip. He says, Mom, that was terrible. Don't ever ask me to go geocaching again. And I said, well, I didn't know. He said, nope, not going to do that. I said, okay. So,
but it's an experience. It is an experience.
Exactly. Later on, he might like geocaching. He can say, oh yeah, I did that, but at least he can, I'm not doing him any disservice by not exposing
Absolutely.
him. I feel like that's, he wouldn't like me for that later on down the road.
So I'm almost out of time, Laura, but before I go, I wanted to ask you, what do you do full-time?
Full-time, I work at Minute Clinic. I'm a nurse practitioner. And then,
you have a product or something, if I remember.
I actually have an IV infusion clinic. So we infuse IV vitamins, V-Vital Infusion, www.vvitalinfusion.com. Our office is located in right behind Palms West in Loxahatchee.
All right, I am all out of time. Thank you. Always a pleasure to hear from you, my dear. I'm so happy to hear that you're doing well, and I wish you the best and a blessed day. And I'll be looking forward to talking to you soon. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you, ma'am. Bye. That's Laura. She's one of my neighbors, and we'll be looking forward to having her on again. But don't go away, ladies and gentlemen. We're not going anywhere.
You're listening to the Fish Florida Show with your host, Riskella. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Download the Fish Florida mobile app to plan your boating, fishing, or hunting trip. You can find your tide reports, buoy reports, get a fishing license, and even find someone to go fishing with. Plus great products and services from all our media partners. And oh yeah, you can get the Fish Florida Show on the app. Sundays at 8 a.m. Eastern here on the WDBF radio networks. So download the Fish Florida mobile app to plan your boating, fishing, or hunting trip and tune in.
Battles aren't won solely on the field. That's a common misconception. Battles are won within, over enemies of fear, enemies of doubt. In that place where promises are kept. Promises to oneself.
This is a physical training event.
Promises to one's community.
Healthy people move debris out of their house.
Promises to one's country. In the heart of every Marine, you'll find a promise. A promise forever kept. A promise of battles won.
Today, my new dad and I shot off a rocket in the park.
Today, my new son and I failed to shoot off a rocket.
He knew exactly what to do.
I had no clue what I was doing.
We set up the rocket.
Hit
ignition. And then
nothing. Ha 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 ha. Sometimes I laugh when I'm frustrated.
Then out of nowhere, the rocket launched into the air.
The rocket did get into the air.
I've never seen anything fly so high.
And then crashed into a kite.
Look out! Look out!
And then the pond.
I'll never forget that day.
I'll never forget that day, even if I tried.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of kids in foster care will take you just as you are. For more information on how you can adopt, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
It took me a long time to be able to say Chandler has cancer, because that is such a scary word. St. Jude takes care of absolutely everything. And knowing that we don't have to pay for all of the medical expenses, that's huge.
St. Jude allowed me to focus on being a mom to Bryce. And sometimes I'm just in awe of the impact St. Jude has, not only on this community, but the world.
St. Jude is uniquely positioned to advance the cures of pediatric cancer, I think better than any other institution in the world. The contributions make a big difference.
Donors are important to us because you get the feeling that you have a team behind you. We have the resources and we have the focus. And so if St. Jude doesn't do it, who will?
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Finding cures. Saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
My vehicle was sent 6 feet in the air in a ball of fire. I thought I was going to die.
It ripped my arm off. It broke my right femur.
I took such a hard blow to the head that my retina was torn apart.
Say a prayer for peace. I'm Trace Atkins. I want to tell you about these true American heroes and how you can show your thanks by helping them through Wounded Warrior Project.
They've reached out to us as a family, and they never forgot about us.
The job of helping thousands of our wounded warriors rebuild their lives is massive and growing every day. That's why your gift of just $19 a month is so important. Many of these service members suffer traumatic brain injury and post-traumatic stress disorder.
They helped me basically put my life back together.
If it wasn't for Wounded Warrior Project, I would be a statistic right now. I would have been one of those soldiers who came home and committed suicide.
I'm in the fields of Vietnam, the mountains of Afghanistan.
Your gift today of $19 a month can help us provide the programs and services desperately needed by our wounded service members. Call or go online with a pledge and you'll receive this Wounded Warrior Project blanket. Make that call now.
Say a prayer for peace. I grab my fishing pole and cast it in the water. I fish until dawn. Oh my, I caught a shark. I'm fishing in Florida when the sun shines all day. They call me a grouper. Stop fishing in Florida. Oh yeah.
It's the Fish Florida Show with your host, Riscala Stevens, bringing the outdoors to you every Sunday morning, 8 to 10 a.m. on the WDBF Radio Network. And now, your host, Riscala Stevens.
Well, a very good morning to you if you're just joining us. It has been a very delightful conversation this morning, and I'm going to have 4 different ladies on today. Pam, of course. I'm always honored and privileged to have Pam with us. Pam, if you don't know, she's one of the top female kayak anglers here in Florida, always bringing a unique perspective to the table. Thank you for doing what you do for me, Pam. I greatly appreciate it.
You're very, very welcome, and thank you for having me on. I enjoy it.
It's always a pleasure to have you here. And in the background, we have the Captain Hook man. He's back there taking care of the production part of it. He's answering the phones for us and letting us know what's going on in the background. Thank you, Captain Hook, for what you do as well.
My pleasure, my friend.
And so we've been talking about a subject that we've mentioned several times on other shows, and that's how vital it is that ladies are part of this male-dominated industry and the part that they play. And the next guest is interesting. I don't recall who told me about my next guest, whether it was Victoria or whether it was Pam. I think it was Victoria. Victoria Brinkley is the founder of the Fish Florida app, and, of course, the Fish Florida show came from the app. And if you don't have the app, you're listening to us online or one of the smart devices or on a TuneIn app or something like that, the app is free. You can find it at any of the major stores. It's called the Fish Florida app. Just a wide array of information at your fingertips. Most people put it on their phones, and you're ready to go out and do something. You can know about what the tides are going to be, what the winds are going to be. Just a wide variety of information that can be very useful for you to help you enjoy the outdoors. Anyway, my next guest, Betty Bowman, whoever told me about Betty, very interesting because I found out that Betty has, I guess you would call it a service, and that Betty actually worked with Pam, or Pam worked with Betty. So, Pam, let you do it. You introduce Betty for me.
Well, Betty has been around, and her goal or her ambition is to teach ladies how to angle. And she's really, really good at it. She does the basics, 1, 2, 3. And the nice thing is she has a lot of times other lady anglers come in to help these women. So there's no intimidation. They can ask any questions they want. And yeah, I was privileged enough to be able to work with her at the boat show about 2 weeks ago. On a Sunday. So, Betty, I love what you do. You're amazing.
Well, thank you. It was amazing to have you and all the other ladies there to help women over the threshold into fishing. And I was at the Tampa Boat Show, and I think those ladies got treated to the dream team of instructors and learned a lot.
Well, thank you. Yeah, Lisa was there also.
Yeah, we had Lisa, we had Misty Wells, we had ladies that came also to help out with the hands-on skills, which is what makes Ladies Let's Go Fishing different. It's not like you're sitting in an audience listening to somebody. You have a chance to actually interact with them, learn fishing skills from them hands-on, And then we also offered a fishing trip the day after so the ladies could test their skills on the water.
So you mentioned Ladies Let's Go Fishing. Let's talk about that for a second. What is that?
Ladies Let's Go Fishing has been operating for 20 years to conduct educational programs to bring women into fishing all around the state of Florida. We are supported by a variety of wonderful sponsors, and we teach conservation, inshore, offshore, bottom fishing, depending on the venue. We're usually in meeting-type facilities. We offer the hands-on part where, our main events that are a little bit longer, not only do the ladies, sit down with guides, multiple guides, to learn the knot tying, hook to line, line to leader, but they also learn how to put the lures on, how to spin cast, fly cast, net cast. They gaff grapefruits. We do trailer backing. There's just how to de-hook fish. We include the networking, so we usually have an evening or early evening event where they can meet the other ladies and make new fishing friends. And then we offer the fishing usually on the last day, so they have a chance to practice what they learn and realize what there is further to learn about fishing.
Wow.
It was an amazing event. I really give a lot of credit. I know that took a lot of work for Betty to put that together. And would you have like 50 people? It was great.
Yeah, it was. And we have 8,000 graduates over these 20 years.
My goodness.
And each graduate usually brings other people into fishing. So what we're doing is also good for the future of the fishing industry and the ladies.
I got to say, from what you're describing, I think I would consider this a win-win situation. You're going to win by helping people, because I can tell you have a servant's kind of heart. You're going to win. You're going to get your joy out of helping these ladies. The ladies are going to win by learning a trade. Our society is going to win because we're going to raise our level of society, because we're going to have more people, which I spoke about just a few moments ago, being self-reliant. This is how we really want to, in my view, this is how I would like to see our society progress, because we have become very, I don't know what the word is when you're not self-reliant.
Techo.
What'd you say, Pam?
I would say like techo.
Yeah.
Like everything is automated.
Yeah. Exactly.
Right, and we call it the no yelling school of fishing, because sometimes women are intimidated either by the sport or by others who kindly take them fishing but then bark orders out or expect them to be part of the team without explaining to them what exactly they're talking about. So that's why we go into, the strategies of fishing, the terminology, so the ladies, have some skills and can be more useful on the boat and feel more a part of the team versus a spectator. They're actually in it and contributing.
Well, I can tell you there's some of those ladies that not only are contributing, they're outdoing the guys. I think it's great.
Yeah.
I'm curious, the ladies that you work with, how many of them are single moms?
Oh, we have single moms, and they want to take their kids fishing, or some of them have husbands that are too busy to take the kids fishing or to work with them, and, the woman, not just the parent, but also grandparents, aunts, uncles, they want to take the kids fishing, but they need to know how to do it themselves, because the kids are relying on them to show them how and to get the equipment and take them to the fish.
How does somebody get involved with this thing?
Oh, it's as easy as just signing up for one of our events. We have them typically 4 main events in different coasts of Florida. We have our grand finale of this year, where we have ladies coming in from all over the country, in the Keys in Islamorada, October 19th to the 21st. And that one's cool because they can choose for fishing from inshore, offshore, or they can do bottom fishing from the party boat.
Nice. So what do they go online and do this? How's this done?
Yeah, it's all set up online. All the rates, of course, the charter rates are extra because, we collect it and we pay the captains. So in a way, we also are contributing to the economy of the Keys when they need it after the hurricane. Those guys need the business. So they just go to our website at www.ladiesletsgofishing.com and sign up. My phone number is there. They can, we do answer the phone if they have questions. And, it includes the parties, the meals. We actually have 2 networking functions in 2 different locations. And, some of our instructors are pretty well known. We've got Stu Apt, teaching fly casting.
That's the best.
Gary Ellis on inshore. We can't always get women, so we just try to get whoever's the best and most patient to teach. It's really hard to fill the room with women who are also the instructors, so we do our best. And then we have Allison Statner she's an accomplished offshore angler, and she's going to be talking about offshore. And a lot of other guides that are going to be coming off the water to help the ladies tie their knots and such.
Wow. You were going to say something, Pam?
No, I was just going to say she's got probably one of the top fly fishing guys in the Keys down there. So
wow.
I'm jealous that I have a prior engagement and can't make that. I'm going to be in Louisiana.
Yeah. I wish you could. Stu Apt is somebody, like if you go to a trade show, you have to stand in line to even meet him, and we're fortunate that he enjoys teaching the ladies, and they're going to get one-on-one time with him for his fly casting. And he's a fun guy. We're just really lucky to have some of these fantastic anglers, people like Pam Worth as well, to help these ladies learn how to fish.
So, again, it's ladiesletsgofishing.com, is that right?
That's right.
All together, and it's LADIES, not with a Y, right?
Correct, yeah, and no apostrophes or punctuations. And they'll see some of the other things, too. We do international trips from time to time, Cuban missions, other ways for ladies, once they've taken it, to experience fishing all around the world.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I didn't know about the international part of it. That's very interesting.
Wow.
Yeah, people need to get up on our email list because we're planning for next year, and you just never know what we may add. We might add a trip to Cabo.
My goodness.
Don't know.
We're all signing up for that one.
Yeah, nothing better than getting away with a bunch of ladies who have common interest in fishing and going and doing it and just seeing an area you haven't seen before and fish you haven't caught before.
And Betty, you've been doing this, 20 years?
20 years, and I'm especially proud that, we teach these ladies about conservation. So when you're learning and impressionable and they go out fishing, they know how to be a responsible angler and how to preserve a marine environment.
And how to handle a fish. What got you into this?
My background was marketing and PR, and years back I found a niche that was seemingly forgotten. And my feeling was that women are a little bit different, that they want to actually learn and practice with the equipment before they go out there and fish. They want to know which reel goes on the top and which reel goes on the bottom of the rod so they don't get on the boat and people laugh at them. They want to learn, how those mechanics work together, and how you can retrieve the fish and how, you can catch a 20-pound fish on 10-pound test line. We explain all that, how the drag system works. If you don't know how it works, you could very easily lose a fish, trying to adjust it unless you know how it works before you get into that situation.
Wow. So this is fishing 101, basically.
Oh, it is. I was amazed on it's general, but it's detail. I know that's kind of a contradiction, but listening to the ladies afterward, there was not one negative comment. They were all thrilled and excited to go to the next step.
We have discussions about the equipment and such that people just don't have time to talk about when they're on the boat. When there's a fish on, it's a little too late to explain, okay, here's how to slow it down. Practice before you get on the boat. Or as you get on the boat, before you catch the fish, hold the rod, have somebody pull it on the end. So you can expect, what to do, when to reel, when not to reel. There's a lot to fishing. It's not as simple as you see on TV where they just put a line in and there's a fish.
No, that's edited stuff. Well, Betty, I'm up against a break, but I want to thank you for taking the time to come on and share with us. I want to thank you for what you do. I'm going to have you back on again if you don't mind, my friend.
I would love to, and ladies, go catch them up, and you can do it.
Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. That's Betty Bowman with LadiesLet'sGoFishing.com. Don't go anywhere because we're not going.
You're listening to the Fish Florida Show with your host, Riskella. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Do you own a laser printer, copier, or a fax? Well then, listen close to this announcement. Laser Technologies has been providing high-quality, frustration-free toner cartridges that are guaranteed not to harm your equipment for over 20 years. Laser Technologies will save you on your supplies with high-quality and fast delivery. Savings up to 50%. Laser Technologies supplies toner, imaging drums, developer and cartridges for most of the major brands. For a price quote, send an email to service@laser-technologies.com. Include your printer make and model for your part number. Call us at 561-792-9600. That's 561-792-9600. Laser Technologies, providing 100% of the quality at a fraction of the price. 561-792-9600.
Hi folks, I'm Roger from Rogers Gotcha Motoring. If you need a local auto repair shop, Rogers Gotcha Motoring will take care of all of your automotive repair needs. If you need something as simple as an oil change or as complex as an engine overhaul, I have the latest in technology and the knowledge to get the job done right. We've been servicing Pinellas County since 1994 and are conveniently located at 3700 5th Avenue North in St. Petersburg, Florida. If you need service, call now at 727-327-1830 or visit my website at www.rogersgotchamotoring.com or like my Facebook page at Rogers Gotcha Motoring for a complete list of all of our services. So come on over to Rogers, that's me, and get your car service today. And don't forget to shop and support local business. Call now to book your appointment at 727-327-1830. That's 727-327-1830, or swing on by.
Que Pasa Mexican Cantina is where friends and neighbors come to connect, share, and celebrate one another in a festive, casual atmosphere. Offering rich, robust flavors of authentic Mexican cuisine, we use only the freshest, finest ingredients. We chop and dice, season and blend, and then cook everything we serve to perfection. One thing that makes Mexican food even better is one of our delicious Best of the Bay margaritas. Our signature series of margarita flavors range from our sweet and fruity mango and strawberry to our hot and juicy jalapeno margarita. Having a busy meeting or getting together and looking for Mexican food? Try our Fast Fax form. It's an easy, fast way to order your favorite Mexican food. We have special platters and layouts for any occasion. The form is super easy to fill out, fax, email, or just call it in. Whether it's here in the restaurant, in your home or office, at Que Pasa we celebrate bringing people together. Que Pasa Mexican Cantina, 10478 Roosevelt Boulevard North Street in the Gateway Shopping Center, 727-330-3663 in St. Petersburg.
Test 1 2 3. Test 1 2 3. Hey, this is Captain Hook for Statewide Pest Control Services. They've been serving the west coast of Florida since 1987. Statewide does it all. Pest control, termites, lawns, mosquitoes, tent fumigations, etc. This announcement is from their mold division. Since Hurricane Charlie in 2004, all their personnel are certified in mold and moisture control. Their two-step services are guaranteed to get you back in your home quicker and in most cases paid by your insurance company. Give them a call at 877-488-7378. That's Statewide Pest Control Services for all your pest and mold control needs, serving Florida from Pasco to Lee counties. Statewide Pest Control Services, 877-488-7378. 877-488-7378. That's 877-488-7378.
You're listening to WDBFradio.com, a tune-in station.
Ever WDBFradio.com. 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 I grab my fishing pole and cast it in the water. I fish until dawn. Oh my, I caught a shark. I'm fishing in Florida. When the sun shines all day. They call me a grouper. 'Cause I'm fishing in Florida. Oh yeah.
It's the Fish Florida Show with your host, Riscala Stevens, bringing the outdoors to you every Sunday morning, 8 to 10 a.m. on the WDBF Radio Network. And now, your host, Riscala Stevens.
Well, a very good morning to you out there if you're just tuning in. It is the Fish Florida Show, an honor and a privilege to be with you. A beautiful day here on the east coast of Florida, and my reports from the west coast is it's about the same. I'm looking at the radar, a little bit of activity just north of where I am at. I'm located in West Palm Beach. A little bit north of me, a little bit of offshore activity moving inshore. The winds are extremely calm today, and it looks like the seas are going to be probably 1 to 2 feet. So, if you don't really have anything planned yet, I would suggest you get out there and enjoy that water. Because that's what we're here for, isn't it? We've got water 3 sides of this state, and you really can't go very far without running into some degree of water. Anyway, my guest, before I get to the guest, my co-host, Pam Worth, one of the top female kayak anglers. Good morning, Miss Pam.
Good morning, sir. Thank you for having me along.
Oh, it's, you know how I feel about that. And my producer in the background who takes care of all of the stuff that needs to happen in order for us to make this thing work. Captain Hook. Thank you, Captain Hook. Greatly appreciate it, sir.
My pleasure, my dear friend.
So, my next guest, Summer. Summer is, we've been talking about how vital it is that women, are involved in a male-dominated industry, and one of the greatest examples that I know of personally is Pam. She's out there really, literally kicking behind out there. I cannot forget. You see something, you can't unsee it. I cannot forget the picture that she sent me in a 13-foot kayak with holding onto a sailfish. Almost as big as the boat itself, with a big grin on her face that, when they say a picture can paint 1,000 words, you didn't have to have anything printed on that picture. You could see the joy in her face holding on to this thing. Very impressive.
Thank you.
So my next guest, Summer is, from what I understand, puts on a tournament. I'm going to let her tell everybody about that. Good morning, Miss Summer. Thank you for taking the time to call in.
Good morning. Good morning. How is everyone? I hope everybody's doing well.
Yes, we are.
I'm excited to be a part of your show this morning. I put on a Kingfish Dolphin Wahoo tournament. This is our 5th year. We were lines in September 8th out of Harborside in Jupiter, Florida. We had a record 165 teams compete this year for over $35,000 in cash prizes.
Nice.
It was an amazing year. Yeah, it was quite amazing.
Wow. So how did all of this come about?
So in 2013, my son died from a fatal neurological disease at 10 months old called Gaucher type 2. Extremely rare, never heard of it, and we are deep-rooted in the fishing community. We have a marine canvas company, and our goal was always going to be, when we had our son, that was what we were going to do. We were going to fish. We were going to create memories fishing. After he passed away, we wanted to create a legacy for him and also raise money for children like him. And that's how Chasing Tails came to be. Back in 2013, we started Chasing Tails, a nonprofit to raise money for children like him. And this year, we actually raised over $100,000 for sick children. Wow. So in addition to having one of the largest tournaments in the Southeast, we also donate extremely large. So this year we will be donating directly to families who have children with life-threatening illnesses.
That's amazing. Well done.
Let me grab another tissue.
Thank you. Yeah. You know what? But you know what's incredible is every grieving parent's nightmare is that their child will be forgotten. And what Chasing Tails does is almost every single day I get to speak of him. And these teams have now become our friends and our family. And they all are creating these memories, doing something we all love while raising money to help our community. So there's nothing better than that.
That's great. That's great. Of this, say again, how many boats do you have entered now? How many teams?
We had 165 teams compete on Saturday. We actually had over 5 fish brought to the scales that were over 40 pounds, which is incredible for a September tournament.
That is. That's great.
Yes. You know, in September the fishing gets a little bit tough, and it was quite a year. We were very excited. We got a lot of good feedback, and Harborside is an amazing venue. You know, we have our weigh-in right on the amphitheater, and there's a huge stage. You know, we have the whole dock. Wyndham is our host hotel. Tommy Bahama caters our captain's meeting. Calaveras Cantina caters our awards ceremony. So it's a quality tournament. It's a great event.
Oh, wow. It sounds great. Do you ever make it over here on the West Coast to do any of the King of the Beach or anything?
You know, I was just speaking with the director of King of the Beach, and I haven't made it over there. I really need to. I really did, because I fish all the local tournaments as well. I just fished yesterday. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I would like to get over there and see what those are all about, because I hear they're pretty amazing.
I think King of the Beach is one of the largest kingfish tournaments.
Yeah, they have huge payouts.
Yeah,
I believe their payouts are over $100,000.
Yeah,
wow.
Yeah.
Holy moly.
Yeah, but how much money, Betty, have you raised over the years? Or, excuse me, summer?
You know, this year was over 100 to date. We haven't put out our donations yet this year. But last year to date, in 2017, we had donated over $124,000. So in retrospect, after payouts and expenses, you know, we would probably, you know, be close to $500,000. You know, it's been the way that the community and has embraced our tournament. You couldn't ask for, you know, a better response. And you know how the fishing community is tight. You know, we all stick together and we all support each other.
Well,
so
your son has created something amazing, and for you and your husband to follow up on this is, you know, you have our love.
Amen.
Oh, I appreciate it.
Oh, I'm at a loss for words, and that's big for that's big for me. I'm telling you.
Is that tough to do?
I'm just sitting here wiping my eyes. My eyes are leaking right now.
Oh gosh, no! This is a good thing. This is good. We're doing good things, and we're all doing it.
It's a little bit of both. It's a little bit of sadness, and it's a little bit of joy as well. I've had a personal friend of mine who had the experience of having to say goodbye to one of their children physically, and they went the other way. They become bitter. They become whatever that word is called when you don't want to talk to anybody. Shut the world out. The world, you know, when they lost their child, they lost themselves, I guess. Here, you've done 180 degrees and you've reached out to other people. This is, I'm telling you, my eyes are leaking. I'm not lying. This really touches my heart, because people who serve other people are the greatest people in my book. That's coming from a former foster parent who has seen the foster system and what the foster system can do. Through the foster system, I adopted 7 children. So where I'm coming from...
Oh my gosh, that is amazing.
Where I'm coming from is a place that I know what it takes to sacrifice, and I would never ask God to have me bury one of my children. So you've taken it to the other end, and I thank you. I commend you for that, because you're making the world a better place instead of making it a bitter place. The big difference between better and bitter. One little letter can make all the difference in the world. Thank you so very much.
I appreciate it. I appreciate the kind words, and you're right. You know, it's difficult. You can go either way, and don't get me wrong. You know, it's hard. It's hard. I would much rather have my son here than having a fishing tournament. But if you're going, life is short. That's what he taught me. Life is short. You don't want to be miserable, and you know, when things go bad, what do you want to do? You want to help. You want to make sure that other families and people like that feel better.
God bless you.
When's your next event?
Well, go ahead, Pam.
Yeah, I was going to ask, when is your next event?
So we actually put on 5 events per year, our largest being our fishing tournament. So our next tournament it's always the weekend after Labor Day.
Okay.
So we're always the weekend after Labor Day. Although in 2017, our tournament happened to fall the weekend Irma came.
Oh.
So that was a tough year. We went ahead and rescheduled it to the end of September, but it will be the second weekend in September.
Okay.
And hoping to pick up a few more teams and make it a little bit bigger.
Okay. You said you had other events besides just the tournament. What are those?
So last year, or actually this year, 2018, we actually partnered with Terry Chen and the marine artist, and we had a painting class for one of his prints. And so we raised money. We had some of our teams get together. We provided dinner, had some cocktails, and we all did a painting of Terry Chen's. We also have a booth at the Palm Beach International Boat Show where we raise a little bit of money. We offer a special discounted entry into our tournament in September, and we just mingle with the people, see what's going on in the local boating world. And then we also have what's called our not quite kickoff party. Then we have our kickoff party. Then we have our captain's meeting, and then we have our awards ceremony. And we might throw in something additional for 2019 just to make it a little bit little different.
Yeah, you stay very busy then.
Yeah. We're constantly trying to keep things fresh and new and keep people interested. There's a lot of tournaments. There's a lot of charities. Everybody's busy, and you got to keep them interested. And I think that staying fresh and new and current is important.
I agree with you.
I think when we have a situation where everybody benefits is important too. And this is one of those situations where everybody around is going to benefit. You're going to benefit even if you don't win the tournament. You're going to benefit. You're going to benefit by knowing that you've helped people who were in vital need of help. And if I am not mistaken, you correct me if I'm wrong somewhere, but this sounds like one of those things where insurance is like a nightmare. Forget it. We don't even know what he has. We're not paying for it. Is that one of those deals?
You mean with my son?
Yeah.
My son actually, he died, and then I did not get a diagnosis until 2 days after he died. We didn't know what he was. The doctors wouldn't even tell us that he was dying. So, because we didn't have a diagnosis. And, it's difficult because, I couldn't work because he was born deaf, and then the symptoms seemed to progress almost weekly. And then because we have a small business, if my husband was not at work, he was the only fabricator at our business. If he was not at work, then we didn't have any money coming in.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
So we were these families, and because we were this family, I know what it takes to get through the situation, and I am strict on who we help. There is specific criteria you have to meet in order to receive our funding. But because of the success though that we've had from the community and the fishing world, we're going to be able to expand that, and we're actually going to offer for 2019. What's come to be is that now we're known locally. At my captain's meeting while I was setting up, I got a call from a mother in tears who received our name from one of the NICU nurses and PICU nurses at St. Mary's. So we're now known within the community in the medical field that we will help families. So what we're going to do in 2019 is where you're going to be able to go right to chaseandtails.com, and you're going to be able to apply for funding. And that way the medical field can just refer them in, refer the families. They can apply online, and we'll help as many as we can.
Okay, so let me go into chasing tails for a minute, because just to make sure that people understand. And correct me if I'm wrong here, Summer. It's CHASINTAILZ.com.
It's CHASENTAILZ.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Say it again.
CHASENTAILZ.com.
Okay. ChasingTails.com. You can get involved in whatever way you feel moved to get involved. This is an organization that's really, everybody wins. This is the kind of thing I like. This is the kind of thing I like to promote. First of all, the individual who founded it is from a small company. Any of you who have listened to any of my shows know how I feel about small companies. Locally owned is the way to go. That's America. Second of all, they're doing something that's reaching out and helping other people. So this is a home run for me. I hope you feel the same way on the other side of this microphone. It's a home run for you. If you want to make a small donation, that's fine. I am not involved financially with this organization, or this is really the first time I've ever spoken to Summer. So if you think I'm selling something, I'm selling nothing. Summer and I have no relationship other than the first call that we've talked today. If you feel led to donate, donate. In whatever way you feel that you can help. Again, you're helping people. You're going to get the joy of knowing that you're helping people. The people are going to get that help that they need. Everybody wins. This is the kind of thing I love. Summer, thank you so much. It really has been enjoyable having you on, and I'm going to ask you to come back on at a future date. Thanks so much for calling in this morning.
Thank you so much for having me, and thank you for everything you do, and have a wonderful day.
God bless you. Talk to you soon.
You as well. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Ladies and gentlemen, please don't go anywhere. We're not going anywhere.
You're listening to the Fish Florida Show with your host, Riskella. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Download the Fish Florida mobile app to plan your boating, fishing, or hunting trip. You can find your tide reports, buoy reports, get a fishing license, and even find someone to go fishing with. Plus great products and services from all our media partners. And oh yeah, you can get the Fish Florida Show on the app. Sundays at 8 a.m. Eastern here on the WDBF radio networks. So download the Fish Florida mobile app to plan your boating, fishing, or hunting trip and tune in.
Battles aren't won solely on the field. That's a common misconception. Battles are won within, over enemies of fear, enemies of doubt. In that place where promises are kept. Promises to oneself.
This is a physical training event.
Promises to one's community.
Helping people move debris out of their house.
Promises to one's country. In the heart of every Marine, you'll find a promise. A promise forever kept. A promise of battles won.
Today, my new dad and I shot off a rocket in the park.
Today, my new son and I failed to shoot off a rocket.
He knew exactly what to do.
I had no clue what I was doing.
We set up the rocket.
Hit
ignition. And then
nothing. Ha 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 ha. Sometimes I laugh when I'm frustrated.
Then out of nowhere, the rocket launched into the air.
The rocket did get into the air.
I've never seen anything fly so high.
And then crashed into a kite.
Look out! Look out!
And then the pond.
I'll never forget that day.
I'll never forget that day, even if I tried.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of kids in foster care will take you just as you are. For more information on how you can adopt, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
It took me a long time to be able to say Chandler has cancer, because that is such a scary word. St. Jude takes care of absolutely everything. And knowing that we don't have to pay for all of the medical expenses, that's huge.
St. Jude allowed me to focus on being a mom to Bryce. And sometimes I'm just in awe of the impact St. Jude has, not only on this community, but the world.
St. Jude is uniquely positioned to advance the cures of pediatric cancer, I think better than any other institution in the world. The contributions make a big difference.
Donors are important to us because you get the feeling that you have a team behind you. We have the resources and we have the focus. And so if St. Jude doesn't do it, who will?
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Finding cures. Saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
My vehicle was sent 6 feet in the air in a ball of fire. I thought I was going to die.
It ripped my arm off. It broke my right femur.
I took such a hard blow to the head that my retina was torn apart.
Say a prayer for peace. I'm Trace Adkins. I want to tell you about these true American heroes and how you can show your thanks by helping them through Wounded Warrior Project.
They've reached out to us as a family, and they never forgot about us.
The job of helping thousands of our wounded warriors rebuild their lives is massive and growing every day. That's why your gift of just $19 a month is so important. Many of these service members suffer traumatic brain injury and post-traumatic stress disorder.
They helped me basically put my life back together.
If it wasn't for Wounded Warrior Project, I would be a statistic right now. I would have been one of those soldiers who came home and committed suicide.
I'm in the fields of Vietnam, the mountains of Afghanistan.
Your gift today of $19 a month can help us provide the programs and services desperately needed by our wounded service members. Call or go online with a pledge and you'll receive this Wounded Warrior Project blanket. Make that call now.
Say a prayer for peace.
I grab my fishing pole and cast it in the water. I fish until dawn. Oh my, I caught a shark. I'm fishing and blowing on when the sun shines all day. They call me a grouper. Stop fishing and blowing on. Oh yeah.
It's the Fish Florida Show with your host, Riscala Stevens, bringing the outdoors to you every Sunday morning, 8 to 10 a.m. on the WDBF Radio Network. And now your host, Riscala Stevens.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen in. It's been very interesting this morning. Apologize for getting a little emotional there, but it is some of the heartstrings that were pulled so hard this morning. And if you've missed anything on the show, please remember that we do replay the show 3 p.m., same bat channel, same bat time, as they used to say. You don't find us at 3 p.m. You can find us at 4 a.m. if for any reason you can't get to sleep, or if you have to wake up early. And if you miss both of those, we're always archived. You can always find the archives at fishfloridashow.com, or you can go to our YouTube channel, Fish Florida Show, on the YouTube channel. And if there's something that you want to hear again, it's there for your pleasure. And of course, this morning, as I am so privileged to have with me Pam Worth, one of the top female kayak anglers. Thank you, Pam, for being here.
My pleasure, sir.
And in the background there, he says very little, but when he says, you know it's him. It's the one and only Captain Hook.
Our matey.
Wow, I wasn't prepared for the last guest's story. Honestly, I wasn't. Sometimes I do a little bit of checking on who it is and what it is, but it was kind of a last minute thing, and was not prepared to hear what she said about having to say goodbye to her son so early on. And it's not something very difficult that I find in my life. Again, I shared the experience that I had with someone that I know, and really affected them in a negative way. And she's taken it, turned it around, making it positive, not only for herself, for other people. I mean, that's, you know, when I talk about fishing, what's happening when we go fishing as a group. It's all about building relationships. It's all about hopefully making your experience better, making your life better, building your bonds stronger. And as a result of that, to me, it would seem like you would have a happier life. And things happen, unfortunate, just like we were talking about what's happening with the water in certain places around Florida. It's unfortunate. It happens, but how are you going to deal with it? I think is what life is about. Challenges are going to come your way. How are you going to deal with it? One of the ways that we dealt with it as a family, because there is an outright attack on the family. One of the ways we did it is to build a relationship, build the bonds of the family, and we did that by doing fishing, going fishing all the time. We enjoyed fishing. So it's something that I help in whatever way I can promote. And Pam, I just learned that you've just recently learned that you're out there sharing your knowledge with other people. You called in, was it last week? I think it was. You called in, you had an 11-year-old or a 14-year-old with you or something?
I had a junior angler with us for the IFA. I was very excited, and his father, and thank you so much for letting him get on the air. I posted a photo and a little interview with him on my Instagram account, and he was so thrilled. And he ended up winning the youth division, and his dad ended up 7th. So I was very excited about that.
See, now that's the kind of stuff that I love. Again, as I said earlier, when you spend time, whatever that is, that time is spent on, that's non-refundable. And when you spend time with someone, that's one of the greatest gifts that you can, especially if you're sharing knowledge and teaching a skill of some sort. That's really in my book, that's really what we need more of today. We have so many things that pull against us, and I go back to the technology thing. It's just a way to distract you, if you will, because you're not going to be able to use the iPhone to go fishing. It's not going to catch you any fish. You throw it in the water, you can say goodbye. It's not coming back.
You can look up a tide, and that's about it. Yeah, and speaking of that, I teach a free class at least once a month, and then do other things like with Laura, or excuse me, with Betty, with the ladies Let's Go Fishing. So I think that's really important to give back into the industry. You get more by giving more than you do by taking.
I know it seems kind of backwards, but that really is true. I found that in my experience of life to be the same. The more you give, the more you get. I think they've even written songs about it, if I'm not mistaken, but it is true.
Yeah.
I think that there's something to be said about having, quote, skin in the game kind of thing. You make an investment and you'll get something back. If you're not making an investment, then, don't expect anything back.
That's with everything.
The investments that we've been talking about this morning are not only individual investments, but they affect our society.
Mm-hmm. I mean, people, when they think investment, they think about retirement and things like that. But if you take that concept and as they used to call it, pay it forward into fishing, it's amazing. I hear from people that I happen to talk to, like on a shoreline or something like that, and gave them a lure I was using. And I hear from them 6 months or a year later, oh my gosh, I caught the biggest fish ever. Thank you for, stopping and spending 5 minutes with me. I mean, it's not going to hurt you to do that. I think maybe that comes with age and experience, but I've seen young people out there help out too. And it's great to see that out on the water and people taking care. You're going to find a couple out there that don't. But I think they're more of the exception than the rule.
There's this feeling, you can tell me how you feel about this, but there's a feeling that you get when you know that you've done something that really, whoever you've done it for, they really are grateful, and they're very, the look on their face is like priceless. Mm-hmm. And you know that you've given them something. The old story about you can feed a man. You can feed you can feed a man a fish for a day, or you can teach him how to fish and something like that for the rest of their lives, kind of thing.
He'll eat for the rest of his life.
Yeah. So again, you're teaching, you're sharing knowledge, and you're teaching a skill, becoming more self-reliant. I think at one time America was known to be a self-reliant individual, self-reliant. The citizens were self-reliant. You think about the days of, we go back to the early days where people you didn't go to the store to get, food. You went to the store to get hardware. If you wanted food, you better get your behind out there and do something about it, whether that's going hunting or fishing, whatever that might be. It wasn't so easy as it is today.
Yeah. Plus, I just think getting your feet wet, walking in the sand barefoot, or
True.
getting out on the nature trail. I saw the greatest ad for a gym, and it was, I think, the state parks in Florida, and they called it your natural gym, and they had people running on the trails and fishing, and I agree 100%. If you're going to go work out outside. Don't go into a stuffy gym where everybody's coughing and, sweating in your face. Go out to nature. There's your gym.
Yeah. A very healthy gym at that. Much more so than being in a closed environment. And I find that a lot of that stuff is more of an ego thing than it is, I really want to get healthy kind of thing. Mm-hmm. It's more, I can't help but remember, because years ago I was involved in gyms. I did gyms, and the first thing that comes to mind is mirrors everywhere. So you can look at yourself as you're picking these weights up and exercising and doing whatever it is that you're doing.
Yeah, that's the last thing I want to do.
Well, there was a time, many moons ago.
Yeah, back in the day. I call it BC. That's before children, before twins.
There you go. I like that. That's good. So have you got any plans for, I know that you mentioned earlier today that as soon as you get done, you're out on the water. So you got any plans for tomorrow?
Yeah, tomorrow I'll be back at work at Tampa Fishing Outfitters. So that's what tomorrow is. I am taking off, and this weekend I'll be in Jacksonville. The IFA over there. So I really haven't had a chance to pre-fish it. So I'm going to kind of go in blind, but, that's the fun of it. You never know what you're going to find.
Will you be available next Sunday?
Yeah, as a call-in. It'll be kind of that same thing where I can't tell you where I am.
Yeah.
And I'll be dodging those, big barges.
Only the NSA will know where she's at.
Right. Well, it's just the IFA's, regulations. They have something in there. Not that I'm giving away any secrets. But they say you can't use electronic anything that might help a fellow angler know where you are or the fish that you're on. So I understand. That's fair. I'd rather be safe than sorry.
So is the tournament is Saturday and Sunday, or just Sunday, or what?
The boats go on Saturday, and their goal is to catch 2 slot reds as heavy as possible, but in the slot. And then on Sunday, the kayaks go. We can launch anywhere on the West Coast as long as we hit Two Sisters by either 2 or 3 o'clock, whatever the weigh-in time is. And our goal is CPR. It's catch, photograph, and release. The largest redfish you can catch and the largest trout you can catch. So we're a little bit different, but it's fun.
Did I hear you say West Coast? Did you mean East Coast?
East Coast. I apologize. Yes.
Okay. No, you just caught me off guard. I'm going, West Coast. She just said Jacksonville.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's cool. That's great.
Yeah. So it should be a lot of fun. I always enjoy it. The people over there are just amazing. They're, very giving, and just great people. And then, one of my sponsors, Cajun Rods, is over there. They're donating a rod to the Heroes on the Water Foundation. So I'm going to go over there and pick it up and take it down to them the following weekend.
Oh, cool. Thank you. Heroes on the Water is what?
It's a great organization that basically, it's kind of like Wounded Warriors, but it takes, veterans out on the water. It's usually veterans helping veterans and other people helping veterans and getting them out on the water and just letting them enjoy it. No cost to them. We supply bait, or they supply bait and everything. Yeah, it's a great organization. Just a fun, relaxing day where the guys and gals and their families can get together and just kind of enjoy the outdoors with absolutely no pressure whatsoever, because it's not a tournament. It's just a day to go out and fish.
Hot dog. Well, Captain Hook does something like that.
Yeah, well, occasionally we haven't been able to do it lately over here because of the red tides kind of put a dampener on things. But I do take some Vietnam vet friends out on. And in fact, I was out scouting a new location yesterday, and I think we're going to hit it Tuesday. So we'll see, over in the Davis Island area over by the port. And we'll see how that works out.
Yeah, let me know how that turns out for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, these are things that are a passion of mine that are close to my heart. Being a veteran, and knowing what some of these veterans go through. I can't tell you that I know what they all go through, but I know what some of them go through. And it is really vital to our society. Again, when we can make a situation where everybody wins, that's how can you refuse that? To me, that's just common logic. My gosh, I'd want to be involved in something like that.
I agree.
And when you're out there helping the veterans helping veterans, that's great because they can relate to each other. But anybody that's out reaching, helping other people, Summer who reaches out and raises money to help people with that god-awful disease. That's the kind of stuff that really we need more of in the world. If we had more of that, I promise you it would be a much better place for all of us. I don't think there'd be any question about that. What do you feel, Pam?
I agree that we need to, not that I don't believe in self-reliance because I do, but if there's any little tiny thing that you can do to, pay back into the community, it's worth it.
Absolutely. We. And I'm not talking France. All right. I see it's that magic time again. Friends, please don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. We've got to take a break.
You're listening to the Fish Florida Show with your host, Riskella. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Do you own a laser printer, copier, or a fax? Well then, listen close to this announcement. Laser Technologies has been providing high-quality, frustration-free toner cartridges that are guaranteed not to harm your equipment for over 20 years. Laser Technologies will save you on your supplies with high-quality and fast delivery. Savings up to 50%. Laser Technologies supplies toner, imaging drums, developer, and cartridges for most of the major brands. For a price quote, send an email to service@laser-technologies.com. Include your printer make and model for your part number. Call us at 561-792-9600. That's 561-792-9600. Laser Technologies, providing 100% of the quality at a fraction of the price. 561-792-9600.
Que Pasa Mexican Cantina is where friends and neighbors come to connect, share, and celebrate one another in a festive, casual atmosphere. Offering rich, robust flavors of authentic Mexican cuisine, we use only the freshest, finest ingredients. We chop and dice, season and blend, and then cook everything we serve to perfection. One thing that makes Mexican food even better is one of our delicious Best of the Bay margaritas. Our signature series of margarita flavors range from our sweet and fruity mango and strawberry to our hot and juicy jalapeno margarita. Having a busy meeting or getting together and looking for Mexican food? Try our Fast Fax form. It's an easy, fast way to order your favorite Mexican food. We have special platters and layouts for any occasion. The form is super easy to fill out, fax, email, or just call it in. Whether it's here in the restaurant, in your home or office, at Que Pasa we celebrate bringing people together. Que Pasa Mexican Cantina, 10478 Roosevelt Boulevard North Street in the Gateway Shopping Center, 727-330-3663 in St. Petersburg.
Hi folks, I'm Roger from Rogers Gotcha Motoring. If you need a local auto repair shop, Rogers Gotcha Motoring will take care of all of your automotive repair needs. If you need something as simple as an oil change or as complex as an engine overhaul, I have the latest in technology and the knowledge to get the job done right. We've been servicing Pinellas County since 1994 and are conveniently located at 3700 5th Avenue North in St. Petersburg, Florida. If you need service, call now at 727-327-1830 or visit my website at www.rogersgotchamotoring.com or like my Facebook page at Rogers Gotcha Motoring for a complete list of all of our services. So come on over to Rogers, that's me, and get your car service today. And don't forget to shop and support local business. Call now to book your appointment at 727-327-1830. That's 727-327-1830, or swing on by.
Grab my fishing pole and cast it in the water. I fish until dawn. Oh my, I caught a shark. I'm fishing and blowing on. When the sun shines all day. It caught me a grouper. So fishing and blowing on. Oh yeah.
It's the Fish Florida Show with your host, Riskalla Stevens, bringing the outdoors to you every Sunday morning, 8 to 10 a.m. on the WDBF Radio Network. And now, your host, Riskalla Stevens.
Well, a very good morning to you if you're just tuning in, and if you've missed a show and you want to catch up on anything that we've already spoke about this morning, you can always catch us at 3 p.m. this afternoon here on WDBFradio.com, or you can find us on the Fish Florida Show with all of the archives. And if you're one of those that has insomnia and you can't sleep at 4 o'clock in the morning, we do replay the show again at 4 o'clock in the morning for those of you who are in that category. My co-host this morning, Miss Pam Worth. Good morning, Miss Pam.
Good morning, sir.
And my producer in the background, of course, the one and only Captain Hook. Thank you, Captain Hook.
My pleasure, my friend.
And a big thank you to, I don't know whether I have Andy or if I have Kyle, but one of the Sikoras is on with me this morning from Dockside Fuel Service. Good morning.
Good morning. You got Andy this morning.
Good morning, Andy.
Kyle slept in a little bit, so he elected me to do it.
Oh, lucky guy. Well,
kids.
I want the listeners to know that it was literally an 11th hour call that I made to them to ask them to come on this morning, give us a fishing report, tell us a little bit about what they do. And of course, he is always so gracious. He said, absolutely, I'll be there. Thank you so much for doing that for me.
No problem. We appreciate it. Anytime you can get us on the air and any way we can help out, we really do appreciate the time. So thank you, and good morning to both of you.
Good morning.
The storms have passed this morning, and we're finally looking like we'll have a little bit of sun down here, so maybe some people will be out boating.
Yeah.
Well, it looks, I'm looking at the radar, let me kind of move up, and it's kind of clear from what I'm seeing. Now, you're down in, Key Largo right now?
Yeah, I'm in Key Largo, and we've had rain all morning. We still got some black clouds overhead, but it looks like the rain has finally stopped. It's been on and off rain since
it looks like it's breaking up from what I'm seeing here on the radar. I think Pam had a question. Pam?
No, I was just going to say it's bright and shiny over here. I checked the radar a little while ago, and I didn't see anything headed to our coast yet.
Yeah, right. We have a little bit of activity going on north of us around the Port St. Lucie area. Some heavy thunderstorms moving in, but that's a little bit north of us, but there's still plenty of clear area between there and all the way down to Miami. Get out there and enjoy the water, ladies and gentlemen. Are you on the ocean right now, Andy?
Nope, I'm actually off today, believe it or not. I'm not on the ocean, and I'm not out delivering fuel. First time in a very long time where we've been on the air, and we've not been out working because things have slowed down. We're in probably the slowest part of the year right now through October, the end of October, and then it'll start picking up again. But we're actually enjoying a little bit of slower time, but the weather is still perfect. The water is still warm. There's still lots of lobster down here. And from what I can tell, they're still catching big dolphin. I've had a couple customer reports yesterday of, dolphin in the 20 to 24 pound range. So those are healthy dolphin to catch.
Wow. My goodness. We got to get down there. Any other things going on? I heard earlier from Robert, with the, Florida Fisherman Magazine, the snappers were moving pretty hard. You seen that down there as well?
Yellowtail, mangrove snapper, mutton snapper. Yes, as a matter of fact, one of our customers was out, spearfishing and got a couple of nice muttons. So there's definitely some muttons out there too, good sized ones. And then of course the sharks have moved in. So they are definitely a challenge when you're fishing, getting the fish to the boat and not just the head. That's
Taxman will get you. Taxman.
Yeah, I'm telling you. And tell me if you've experienced this as well, Andy. Not just the sharks, but the barracudas down there.
Yeah, the barracudas are here. They don't seem to attack quite as much, or at least let me rephrase that. We don't get as many reports of that. Mm-hmm. Barracudas come, and a lot of times I think they take the whole fish or they cut you off. Mm-hmm. But we've had a good amount of shark reports of them taking both yellowtails, snappers, and of dolphin. As a matter of fact, I got a really nice picture of one of our customers sent me a nice picture yesterday of just the tail of the dolphin is gone. And they got a picture of the shark. The shark got it within 10 feet of the boat. Oh. The shark was charging the boat because he saw the fish coming up. He was trying to get it out of the water before the shark got it, and it just came and it slashed off about 4 or 5 inches of the tail, and he got the rest of the fish in the boat. So pretty exciting stuff going on.
Wow. Oh my goodness. Have you experienced that, Pam? You've had experiences like that?
Yes. One of the biggest kingfish that I had hooked I happened to be on a boat at the time, and I was with Captain Lynn Zickel, and we were he was just about to gaff the kingfish. I mean, it was probably going to be my PB. Just as he leaned down to gaff it, out of nowhere, the kingfish like darted, and this monster, one of the biggest sharks I ever saw in my life, came flying under the boat and just cut it in half.
Wow.
I almost dropped the rod in. I was like, oh my God.
Wow.
Sharks, when they get up close to the boat, are quite intimidating. I've had that a couple times myself, and when they start coming up attacking your fish right by the boat, it's very intimidating.
Yeah,
and they have some good teeth on them.
Yeah, and in the kayak, the worst I've had is a bull shark just kind of like investigate my boat and bump it a few times. And I have to tell you, I went directly to the shore and sat on the shoreline for about 10 minutes till my heart slowed down a little bit. And because I didn't even have bait with me. You know me, I fish artificials. But yeah.
I would have been walking on the water looking for a bathroom to change my clothes. Oh my goodness. I can't, I'll share this with you. When, I was stationed, in, Panama City at Tyndall Air Base. And I didn't have, this was the first time I've really experienced this, where you go wading out in the water. You're in waist high water, and we were catching trout at the time. And I was with my future father-in-law. And he had this big tub, this big metal tub that he floated alongside of him. And he would put the crabs in the tub because he'd catch crabs. And he strung the fish on a stringer and would hang from his belt. I didn't like that at all. From the beginning, I didn't like that at all. We were out there one day, and we were fishing, and he had these fish strung on his belt. And I saw this swirl. I didn't see anything but the swirl, and it was big. The swirl of water, just whoosh. Well, I'm telling you, it was literally seconds between the time I was probably 100 yards offshore, and maybe 70 to 100 yards offshore. It doesn't get very deep very quick there. I was on shore gasping for breath. I just thought for sure I saw a shark. And then I saw fins right after that, and I'm screaming at him, and he's laughing at me, and he's lost his mind. He's going to get eaten alive out there. I come to find out it was porpoises. They come in really close on the West Coast. It doesn't happen so much here on the East Coast, but they literally come right into where you're waiting, and they're right there. So it was porpoises that I was seeing. But I couldn't, I thought it was a shark, and I got to tell you, I think I was walking on water. I couldn't imagine being in a boat and being bumped. Oh my goodness.
Well, when I teach kayak classes, I tell people not to use on the West Coast here, not to use a stringer, because that's what you're doing. You're just dangling bait for sharks. And if you're going to use a stringer, make sure it's like a nylon or something you can easily cut, and it's not one of those chain stringers, because you just don't want to be pulled around by a shark, especially from the side of the boat.
That's almost like trolling, right?
Exactly.
My gosh. So before we go, because we're getting a little closer, we still got a couple of minutes yet. I want to talk a little bit about what Dockside Service is. Andy, tell us a little bit about Dockside Service. What is it that you do?
Sure. At Dockside Fuel, we provide fuel for boats and generators because we're coming up into hurricane season. We sell non-ethanol Rec 90, and we sell the dyed diesel for diesel boats, the off-road diesel. We come to your house, we fuel you up. We have about 200 feet of hose on the truck, so as long as we can get within 200 feet of your boat, which for most places down here, that's not a problem at all. It's simple. It's easy. You call us up. We come out to your house. You don't have to worry about going to a marina. You don't have to worry about waiting online, and we're cheaper than most marinas, for the most part, a lot cheaper. And it's very simple, very easy. Use the boat. Give us a call when you're done, and we'll come and get you all fueled up, and you're ready to go out next time.
And it's all of the things that I like. It's family owned, and it's a local business, a small local business, family owned. Everybody benefits. Again, this is the kind of thing I like to promote, where everybody wins. How much easier could it be? You can give them a text. You can give them a call. They come out. They fill your boat up for you. They have a 50-gallon minimum. If you don't meet the 50-gallon minimum, get with your neighbor. A lot of you down there in the Keys live right alongside of each other. Everybody's got a boat. Get with your neighbor, buy 20, let them buy 30, or you buy 25, let them buy 25. They have no objection to that, providing they're reasonably close to each other. It makes it really easy. Honestly, in the days that when I used to go down to Islamorada pulling my boat, It's a major pain to have to go to I didn't go to a marina. I went to a gas station, but it's a major pain. You have to go to the gas station. You get it all fueled up. It takes all that time away from the time that you could be either traveling, getting closer to your destination, or actually be out on the water. Here it is. You just get in your boat, turn the key, and go. I don't think you can make it any easier than that.
No, it doesn't get any easier. And I would also like to add, you can also make an appointment on our website, www.dockside-fuel.com. And you could just right there. We have a calendar. You can schedule it right through the internet. If you don't want to talk to us, because some people don't even want to talk to us, look that way, and we show up at their house and fill up their boat, because that's where society is all digital, and we try to stay with the digital age. So we make it as easy as you can. But like I said, some people we've never even heard their voice. We either get a text from them, or they book us online. We show up and they pay. And sometimes, we've got probably 25 to 40% of our customers we've never even met. We just keep them fueled up and they're happy.
Well, you touched on something that we spoke about earlier today, believe it or not, and that is technology. How technology is always around us at any given point. We have technology all around us. Sometimes it's overwhelming. And I was laughing because you said they don't want to talk to us. I know what you meant, but the way that it came out, it was it just sounded funny. They don't want to talk to you in the sense that it's not that they dislike you, it's just that they can do it a much easier way, either by going online or sending you a text. And they don't have to take the time to make a phone call. They don't have to take the time to have a conversation. And I see that happening quite a bit in our society. Everybody's, I got to get this done, I got to get that done. Well, they'll help you get one more thing done very easily. Again, you can just go to their website. Say it again. What's the website, Andy?
It's dockside-fuel.com, and you can book an appointment right through that, or you can text us. Our phone number is 305-923-6509. And if you actually want to talk to a person, you can dial us up and actually talk to either myself or my son Kyle. We'll set you up on an appointment. We'll get you all fueled up and get you ready to go out fishing.
I will tell you that I asked, I didn't know who was answering me, but I had asked Andy at 11 something last night. I had a guest that called me and said, I can't make it. He called me at around 10, said I can't make it, and I got sidetracked with something else, and oh my gosh. Here I'm looking a little after 11. So he's answering his phone at I'm not going to promise you he's going to do it for you, but I'm telling you he answered my request at after 11 o'clock p.m. And of course the website is 24/7. You could be there 5 o'clock in the morning and do whatever you need.
I would just like to add, yes, we do answer the call. So as long as we're awake, we'll answer the phone or the text, but we may not necessarily come out and fuel you up at 1 o'clock in the morning. If it's really important, we will, but for the most part, we try to keep it mostly during daylight hours, just to put that in perspective.
I totally agree. Let's not get crazy here. Call him up at 2 o'clock in the morning, and ask for some service when it could easily be done later on. Anyway, Andy, thank you. Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I will say the latest fueling we did last year, right before the lobster mini season here, and a customer called us up at 10:30 at night because they had forgotten to get gas and they were out of town, and they had a whole family show up. And so at about 11:15, we're down at his house in Tavernier fueling him up so that he could be out at sunrise the next morning for mini season. So like I said, it's not that we don't ever do it, we just try not to do it.
I can understand. I want to thank you, my friend. Thank you for so many things. Thank you for answering the call so late in the evening and being there for me. I greatly appreciate it. Any parting words before we go?
No, thanks for having us. And like I said, you can book your appointment. Text or call 305-923-6509 Dockside Fuel. We really do appreciate all the time you've given us.
God bless you, my friend. Enjoy your day, sir.
Thank you. Bye.
So long. Ladies and gentlemen, we're winding down. It's the last minute or so of the show. I want to thank Pam Worth, my co-host. I want to thank Captain Hook, my producer in the background. I want to thank you on the other side of this microphone for helping us become one of the bigger shows, and we're working towards becoming the best show that you can listen to for people who are amateurs. I don't pretend to be a professional. I don't pretend to reach out to the professionals. They already know everything that we talk about. I pretend to reach out. Don't pretend. I want to reach out to the average person, and I hope that's you that's listening. Pam, thank you.
My pleasure.
Captain Hook, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Don't go too far away because we'll be back in a week. And if you missed the show, 3 o'clock in the afternoon or 4 o'clock in the morning. So long, everybody.